Dink.
Oh, we didn't do that the last two times.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, sorry. So we forgot to do the shots the last two times, and we forgot to do it this time, and probably the next one too.
The next one.
We don't even have any alcohol in the house right now, so
We have beer.
we're not big drinkers, but
not big on shots.
we were trying to keep the tradition going the whole time, and looks like we already screwed that up. But we want to keep that going because it's fun having a little shot before you start to warm up. About 5 minutes in, start to get loosey goosey. So, anyways, the film review today, Erin and Clinton movie reviews. Hi. Spoilers, like I always say. So if you haven't seen the movie, there are spoilers. Why are we dressed like this? Because the movie we're reviewing today is Funny Farm.
Funny Farm.
One of our favorites. One of my favorite actors, Chevy Chase. So this is kind of just a play because really you think of camo when you think of a farm or being out in the country. You think of hunting. You think of that kind of stuff. This movie had none of that.
He had a scene where he was wearing camo when he was trying to get the boulder to hit the
right, because he was trying to blend in with the surroundings.
So officially, I mean, I guess you could say you're a Chevy Chase character.
Yeah, kind of like that a little bit. So
yeah,
and then because it's an '80s movies,
I got my '80s makeup,
kind of her '80s hair, so it doesn't quite fit. So if you're wondering why it doesn't quite fit, there you go.
Yeah, we're not gonna go out and buy new outfits.
No,
for the
we just make do with whatever we have for the most part.
Yeah.
We'll be doing more '80s movies because we love '80s movies.
Yeah,
and trying to dress the part as much as we can. But anyways, Funny Farm.
Funny Farm.
1988.
1988.
It seemed like it was a little bit earlier than that, but I guess it was late 80s, almost the 90s.
Yeah.
It came out,
yeah. I think because you probably saw a lot of Chevy Chase movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
He had a bunch.
That's true.
He was the 80s king. I mean,
yeah, well, you were
known.
just saying, like, you got here Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation, which is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah. We're going to definitely be reviewing that one. What else did he do?
Fletch. Three Amigos.
Oh, I love that one.
And then, of course, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and European Vacation were all in the 80s.
Yep, all those ones were great. Las Vegas one.
The Las Vegas. That was in the 90s, actually.
Oh, was that one in the 90s?
Yeah.
I think that was their last.
It was their last one. Yeah, the Christmas one was 89.
Okay.
And then I think it was like 92 was when the Vegas one came out. So it was not considered the 80s, but it was still part of it.
Obviously, you know, Chevy Chase was a big time actor, and especially
Saturday
back in
Night
the 80s.
Live.
80s was just, late 70s to the Saturday Night Live, and then the 80s just had a huge career with all these kind of movies and everything.
And this is only like a portion of the movies. There were so many that I didn't want to list them all because it was like, my gosh.
It's in it for like 10 minutes, this, you know.
I think he had one a year, basically. It was, or even two a year sometimes.
But the film, so for those of you that don't know, and for those of you who do, we won't go on too long because then it gets boring because you already know. But the plot is basically they're living in New York. Were they originally?
They were, yes.
They were in New York, and he's a writer, and they want
a
sports writer, and he wants to write an actual novel. So they want to move out to the country where they can kind of have an easier life. He can write his novel, and just
she could be a homebody,
homemaker or whatever you call it, and just kind of
take care of the house.
Yeah, do all that kind of stuff, and so it's a pretty simple plot, and it's like we were even talking about the cover there. Like it shows him, like on the back it shows him with the fishing pole, and the front it shows him on the lawnmower, and he's like it shows him mowing the lawn once, and fishing.
And the main picture, the poster that they had published when it first came out was him. It was a headshot of him with an egg cracked on his head, and that was like a big thing. They're like,
so you're thinking
there's no chickens at all in this film.
You think Funny Farm, it's really going to be based on them like
being
trying to
on a farm.
Like people that don't know how to raise animals at a farm. That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Just all these wacky things that happen, you know.
And I mean, they didn't move to a farm. They moved to a kind of a bungalow on a lake.
But it's
was beautiful.
You know, if you haven't seen the movie, just for the scenery where they're at. I mean, obviously it's not high definition or anything like that, but the little pond or lake or whatever, and this where they're at, the scenery is just beautiful. The little town is beautiful. It's like a town you'd want to. If you don't want to be by a lot of people, it's a town you'd want to move to when you retire, you know. So
back then, I did actually find out that
because it was in Vermont, right?
It is.
It was a location in Vermont.
There was a few places, but mainly Vermont. It's called a town called Townsend, Townsend or something. Townshend. Yeah, I might have spelled that wrong.
Oh, Townsend.
It looks wrong.
The H just doesn't look like it belongs in that word.
I might have just typed an H accidentally, but it was mainly there. There was other places, but they used like locals to as extras. They used all the people that lived in the town as extras. So there was some not interesting, but there were some facts that you could look up about some of the locals, that what they ended up becoming. Like the one kid that cut down the sign. he ended up being a police officer in the town.
In real life?
In real life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And of course, his character's cutting down the sign, which causes them to go flying off the road because they don't realize how sharp of a turn it is.
So, I mean, yeah, there was like stuff like that. And and there was one interesting thing about the house that in 2016 it was up for sale. And the owners spent $150,000 upgrading it. And they actually added an addition to the house. And it just looks like, why did you do that?
Really? It looks really bad.
Like, the house is beautiful, and then they added this 2-story addition, so it's like the house.
And it doesn't, like, match with
and it's all brick.
Yeah, oh, jeez.
So it's like the regular part of the house is still that kind of white picket fence looking, and then there's just, like, this big box next to it. Yeah. And, in 2016 it was for sale, and nobody was buying it, and they were really surprised because it was such a famous house, but... It just
well, that movie did.
They said it was way overpriced for the area.
Well, speaking of famous house, I mean, it really wasn't super famous because the movie didn't blow up or get really that big. It's kind of a small hit. I mean, what were you saying? You said the Rotten Tomatoes was
65%.
65%. That's only on 20 reviews, so that's not that much.
No.
But that's not much at all.
IMDb was
5.1 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
Like that's right in the middle of the road there. So,
yeah.
and a little, I know I'm reading a lot of these facts, so it's not like I know all this stuff. Give her the credit; she's the one that looks up this stuff. So, and then also nail her if it's wrong, like the last video.
Yeah,
but
that wasn't embarrassing. Or he couldn't have cut that out of it. He had to literally leave it in there and then show me how wrong I was. So.
You see how she gets defensive? Show her. It was for me. I was trying to show the whole world, not just you. But anyways, so you reminded me about, you said the director, this was his last movie he directed, then he retired.
Yeah, he retired after this.
What did you say his name was?
George Roy Hill.
George Roy, that's like a hard one to say fast. George Roy Hill. Mm-hmm. Toy boat.
Toy boat.
You can't even do it once.
I can't. Toy boat.
It's like usually toy boat. Yeah, you're right.
Toy boat. Yeah, it goes boat.
Toy boat. Toy boy. That's our whole video is like 5 minutes of us trying to do toy boat really fast. Toy boat. God darn it, I swear I'm going to get it.
I'm going to get it.
But George Roy Hill, not his last movie, that was his last movie, but the movie he's famous for is Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Mm-hmm. So some of the older people watching those for sure.
Slaughterhouse 5 was huge. And
the Little Drummer Girl. So he's known for some Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid's a huge movie.
Yeah.
And then the lady, Madeline Smith, the wife in there, she was an Urban Cowboy, Deadly Intentions, All of Me, in 2010, the year we made Contact, the sequel to 2001.
But she kind of fell off the acting thing kind of after in the 90s. She really didn't play anything after that, and people were kind of wondering what happened to her, and I honestly couldn't find anything. I think she just basically retired and just started living a normal life because she doesn't, when I looked up her movies, the last movie I could find was around 1985. There was one in 1990, but she played like a really tiny part that no one, I didn't even know what the movie was. So I think she just kind of stopped, maybe, is my assumption. But yeah, if you find anything about her, that would be great to hear because I couldn't find anything.
So anyways, that, what was your favorite, you have a favorite scene in the movie or any favorite scenes or anything that you think about, anything that movie make you laugh? I'll tell you while you're thinking, one of my favorite ones is the old guy that they pull up to and try to get directions and he's just sitting out on his porch.
Oh, yeah.
And they go, and he says, hey, excuse me, hey, Mac, can you help me? And he goes, how'd you know, I don't know.
My name was Mac.
Yeah, he says, excuse me, hey, Mac, can you give me directions to Redbud? And then he says, yeah, how'd you know my name was Max? So lucky guess. He says, well, why don't you guess your way to Redbud? It's like, I don't know why. It's such a sweet, like, it's an innocent joke, but it just made me laugh so hard.
Kiss off kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he wasn't being rude, which was, like, weird.
And then the dog, when she gets him a brand new dog, he's all happy. They get home, he's like petting it happy. Gets home and the dog gets out, running around, chasing the ducks happy. He just starts running. They're sitting there watching the dog. It's all happy, and it just keeps going and going and going. And he's like,
throughout the movie, they just see him.
Dog.
They just see him running.
Then every once in a while throughout the movie, you'll see him just running by.
Just running. He's just out about.
Oh, and then the next dog they end up getting, Yellow Dog.
That was my favorite. Is his tail.
Is that the part you're gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Catching on fire. Caught on fire in the
not caught on fire. It was
smoking.
Yeah, it was so close to the fireplace. He's laying there. It's just like sizzling, and the dog's just like super lazy dog.
Just doesn't even.
And Chevy Andy
kind of kicks
comes
it
over.
Out of the way.
And he comes out with the things and like picks it up with little prongs, remember? And then moves it. Like
he kind of pushes it out with his foot, like, ooh boy.
Oh my god! Then her reading his book and absolutely hating it.
Oh, and she starts bawling.
Yeah, and he's just devastated and just like he's just ripping it apart.
Like all the flashbacks and flash forwards and flash presents.
So one time I think even flashed sideways. It's just I
couldn't keep up with it.
If you've watched this far in the review and you have not watched the movie, then check it out. It's a sweet movie. It's it's how the 80s movies are. They've always got the dumb little cheery things and everything ends up well by the end.
Endings,
and all this kind of stuff. It's one of those, but it's just a sweet movie. It's one you can watch around your kids, if they're a little bit older, not super young. But I mean, it's pretty good.
There's like a little cussing here and there.
Yeah, like damn and hell or something like that. But
here or there, but nothing.
Whoops, we try not to cuss on this channel. Sorry, but I'll beep that. Should I bleep that out? Bleep.
Gosh. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, there's no violence that it's like, oh my gosh.
Except for when he whacks him with the one dude who whacks him with the.
He starts punching out
paddle
the fisher guy.
Because the hook caught him.
But that's
but no, honestly, it's not. Yeah, it's not that bad at all.
No.
So okay, so out of what should we call it? 5 yellow dogs.
Yellow dogs. I was gonna say that.
Out of 5 yellow dogs, for me, it's a 4.5. And I know that's a strong rating, but it's just. If I were to watch this movie later, I obviously wouldn't be that strong, but it's because I was a kid and I grew up with it and I watched it when I was younger. It's how movies like that are. And some of them don't hold up. This one still holds up. I can go back and watch it and I still think it holds up. So 1 out of 5 yellow dogs. How many yellow dogs do you give
I would say it's a 3 for me.
Yeah.
It's got that 80s classic love, the thing that I love about 80s movies, but then at the same time, I'm not a huge Chevy Chase fan, just like we were kind of talking about before, he does a lot of the same character. He doesn't really branch out, and I like characters where there's times where you see him in a movie and you're like, oh, isn't that what's his name? Like you have no idea, and it's a famous person, and it just you almost believe their character. Where I'm watching a Chevy Chase movie, I see Chevy Chase, and that's really it.
The same character all the time.
Yeah, and I mean,
kind of like Jim Carrey started having that problem for a little while.
Yes.
Then he branched out a little bit, but
I mean, they had it down. He has it down, and it's a classically good character, but just because of that, I just don't. I would give it a 3. I mean, I loved Madeline Smith. I think she was so funny, and
she's really good.
She the crying was just hilarious, and
all the characters were really good.
The cop and the sheriff of the town. He was really funny. He drove it in. He was doing the driving lessons the whole time.
He just went right to the water.
Just kept going into the water and just gets out like it's totally normal.
That's what I mean. Stuff like that where you're like, you wouldn't do that in real life. You got to suspend belief. Like you do on most movies, but
of course it is.
Well, anyways, all right, awesome. Well, I think it was a good movie. It's one of those classics that will never sell the DVD, never get rid of it. We'll always have it.
Something we'll pull out randomly. You know?
I'm sure in the future when I just want to watch it, I just like that in my mind and watch it. I won't need the DVD.
It'll just pop up in your eyeball.
Don't really need it nowadays.
It'll just the little screen will pop up in your eye.
But you know how Netflix is. Sometimes we talk about this. It's like we want to give up our DVDs. We're like, dude, everything goes on Netflix or this or that. But things will. But then they'll go off. You'll check it a couple months later, like that old movie, and it's not there anymore. Yeah. So it's like with the DVD,
because it didn't get enough watches, so they take.
But it's like you've always got it, and if you feel like watching it, it's there. No commercials, no buffering, no internet, no nothing. It's just boom. So, anyways, I'll be old school for that probably for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So,
You're old school central.
Yeah,
so.
Even if I change, he won't.
No, I'm all about technology. You're about let's keep it. I
like technology,
simple.
but I'm also old school too.
Yeah.
I live in an analog world still, baby. Shoot, this is not all digital here.
I know.
Oh, this is analog, I think. But anyways, all right. Well, hey, thanks for watching. You know me, my brain.
Just over there and over there.
Over there, all over branches out like a tree.
Squirrel.
All right, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Our next one is going to be the Burbs, I think.
We've been talking about this one for a while.
So thanks for joining us. See you on the next one.